Happy Wednesday, co-creators, and welcome to another edition of Teena Sessions, 365 inspirational quotes with me, your life coach, Teena Jones. How is everyone doing on this hump day? Hope your day was wonderful, positive, and productive. And if it wasn't, it's already over. Thank God it's over. Whether you're new or you're one of my loyal viewers, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. And we've got a chock full of information to give, so we're going to kick it off with the quote by Dan Millman. We're talking about journaling through depression today. And the quote of the day is: every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for something that's meant to come. I'll repeat it. Every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for something that's meant to come to you. So, journaling through depression. Most people feel the blues or sad from time to time, you know, but I'm talking about a depression that has been diagnosed as clinical depression, where your feelings of sadness have lasted for weeks, maybe, for a few days to weeks to even months, to where you can't even function normally. Now, there is a such thing as mild, moderate, and severe. So, because it's Wednesday and it's family day, I want to talk to people that are actually dealing with depression, and for those family members that may have someone they love that's dealing with depression. And so journaling is something that I highly recommend on Teena sessions quite often. And with depression, this is just a wonderful tool that you can use. Because depression is so complex and has so many different angles in which it can cripple a person. There are some cases where people can't even get up out of bed, and then there are some where there are functioning people that are depressed. So because of the complexities of um, this disease, I wanted to take it from the angle of a family member, and if you're dealing with it yourself. If you have a family member, someone that you love dearly, it could be your spouse or significant other, your best friend, your mom, brother, child, um, this tool of journaling is so key. And I'm going to give some tips, some really important tips that you can share with them and help them come out of it. Because the good news is it can be cured. It's not an incurable disease. And so I think I want to start off by saying that if you are a family member and you have someone that you love that's dealing with depression, the first thing you have to do is be compassionate. Because if you're not compassionate, oftentimes you believe that you can just pick yourself up. But these are, like I said, we all from time to time have depressing thoughts to where it makes us feel hopeless. But when you have this chemical imbalance to where these thoughts are not just every now and again, it is moment to moment, day to day, and they just can't shake it. So it's very important that you as a family member honor that and be compassionate about it. I want to start off by saying that. And one of the key things is journaling. It is so useful to, it's like a cathartic experience to write down all of those thoughts that you may be having as a depressed person. It is so good to put it in black and white. Oftentimes, if you are depressed and if you are severely depressed, you don't talk. All those thoughts are just ruminating in your mind and you don't have an outlet. And journaling is an outlet. So let me go over some tips of things that you can do if you're dealing with this yourself or if someone you love is dealing with depression. Okay. So it's not an aggressive tool, meaning no one is preaching at you and no one is, you don't have another person coming at you with, what's going on? Why do you feel this way? It's the best self-help tool for depression, and that's journaling, writing it all out. getting it so it's non-aggressive. And that's a very powerful thing when you are in that type of emotional draining position. That's the last thing you need, is someone to be preachy and aggressive. So that's the first thing that it's not. It gives you a chance to see your thoughts and emotions. To actually see them written down does something to your psyche. It really does. It's a healing mechanism to be able to write those things down. I have so many journals that I've written over the years, and sometimes you can see your growth. Today you may be having very bad thoughts, and next week you may not be as bad. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, you may start out journaling, you're at a 10, but in about a week or two, you may be at a 5 or 6. And that gives you hope. When people are dealing with depression, that's what they need. They need some hope. And so that's what it does. It gives you hope when you go back over what you've done. You can see progress. Because when you're in that roller coaster of those ruminating thoughts, a lot of times you don't know if you're getting better or not. It just seems like the same old, same old. But this kind of gives you a gauge of progress. And that's why I think it's so powerful, that journaling is so powerful to do. And you get a chance to focus on your reactions and your perceptions. You get to write down that this person did that and this was my reaction. I don't know why. You can actually fuss, at the paper instead of the individual. You can actually write down all those angry thoughts and emotions. And that too is very good. One of the most powerful things, whether it's depression or any type of illness, the next tip is so good. And that is, have a written conversation with your disease. Why am I experiencing this? What do you want from me? You just don't really understand how the mind really works when you can sit down and separate yourself from the depression. Because a lot of times I like to tell my clients that these thoughts are not who you are. Okay? It's inside of you, but it's not you. So that written conversation makes it objective. It makes it objective and you subjective. So it's like you're coming out of yourself. And that's a very powerful tool to, come to a point where you have a conversation with your depression. What is it that you want from me? Any disease is really good. But since we're talking about depression, so gratifying to do that, to get on the other side of that pain and take yourself away from, because for a long time you think you are it and it is you. But this allows you to separate it for the very first time. You get to separate this disease from you when you have a conversation with the disease. So, I love that tip. And the next one is, write at the time. I think it's important to write down the main theme of why you are depressed. Writing it down of why, is so good. And I don't know, oftentimes people have a main theme that they say constantly in their mind of what is tormenting them. And I think that's a good place to start. So if you want to know where to start with the thoughts that are dominating your thinking day in and day out. Okay, that's a wonderful place to start. And then take it one day at a time. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You have to take it one day at a time. Oftentimes I get the question, how often should I write? How often are you depressed? It doesn't matter. I would prefer you write in the morning. That way, when you get up in the morning, a lot of times those thoughts are there, but life sometimes don't allow that to happen. But whenever you feel like it, on the emotional scale, depression is very low. It's one of the lowest. You have anger, resentment. Those things are low as well. But I think when you start journaling, you'll go from depressed to hope. And hope is that turning point. If I can, with journaling, if you can go from depression to anger, that's good, because anger feels better than depression. If you can go from anger to resentment, now you're moving up the emotional scale, you see. And so that's what this tool does. It helps move you. You're not going to go from depression to joy. Okay, that overnight, that's not going to happen. But that's not the goal. The goal is to take you slowly up the emotional scale to where you can reach hope. And darling, if you can reach hope, oh my goodness, that's like that turn in the road, that bend in the road, to where you're finally making some progress. You're finally going to actually see manifestation of you getting better at hope. So that is the goal of journaling when you start this process. And like I said, if you are a family member that is dealing with it, then encourage your loved one to write however often they want to. It can be every day, every other day, once a week, but tell them just to write down their feelings. And another question that I often get is sharing it with people. It's very freeing to be able to share those thoughts, but you don't want to rush it. And you can only share it with people that you trust, a therapist, a family member that you really trust. It has to be someone that you can be vulnerable with and not be judged by. And so, yes, it's good to share those thoughts with others because now it's coming out of you in the book, and now someone is listening to what goes on in your head, you know? And so it's a very positive thing if it's in the right hands. It can't go into a person that can't handle that, So you have to be very careful of who you share your vulnerable, dark secrets and thoughts with. All right. And so I want to make sure that I touch on this, and that is if you're dealing with depressing thoughts, and you may be on medication. I'm not against medication. People often think because I support a natural holistic approach, which I do, but I'm not the kind of person where if I break my leg, I'm going to use crutches. Doesn't mean I'm not going to use my mind movie in my head, seeing myself healthy, whole, and complete, running up and down the stairs, even though my leg is broke. I'm going to do that too. But I believe in using all of it. And so if you need to be on medication just to help you get out of the bed, by all means do it. But it is a crutch, meaning that it is temporary. You don't make a crutch a lifestyle. Don't make a crutch another leg. You understand what I'm saying? So if the medication helps you get from point A to point B to point C, then by all means use it and use all the holistic tools that we provide on Teena Session. But it's temporary. And always keep that in mind. It's just like having a toothache out. And sometimes you need pain meds just to kill the pain. If I'm having surgery, you better give me some anesthesia, So, but it's temporary. What begins as a problem is when you start using it as a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And that was where it gets hairy. So I'm not against those things. I am actually for them, but only on a temporary basis, okay? Because my job on Teena Sessions is to get you to a place of hope when you're so low down in depression. Get you to a place of hope, and if you can get there, oh God, it's so delicious and so wonderful. And like I said, the good news is that it can be cured. So if you have any questions about journaling, please email me at naturalborncoach@hotmail.com. If you're a family member that's going through it and you have questions about your loved one, do the same. Just email me and we'll talk about it. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed today's session about depression. And I want to say one more thing. Some people don't like writing. I take for granted because I'm a naturally gifted writer and I love to write. Everyone doesn't like to write. So if you can get a little mini recorder, one of those cassette recorders, or just a little microphone recorder that you can get at Best Buy, they're little tiny things, and just talking to it. That's another form of journaling. Okay? And so I wanted to make sure I wrote myself a note to don't forget to say that, because I can't take for granted that everyone likes writing like I do. It's just simply not true. But just getting the feelings out of you, that's the key. So if you're one of those people that don't like writing, or your loved one just really don't like to write, buy them one. They're very inexpensive. You can get an inexpensive one and just hit record and let them have at it. Okay? All right. Today's affirmation is everything always works out for me. We need to affirm that. Everything always works out for me. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another edition of Teena Sessions. It's time for the guided meditation. So go ahead and do what you do to prepare yourself for this 1 to 2 minute time of relaxation of your mind, body, and spirit while I prepare the music. And if you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice deep breath all the way in. Release, relax, and let go. Again, take a nice deep breath all the way in. Release, relax, and let go. With your eyes closed, know that these words that I say to you are exactly for you. Everything always works out for me. And I'm so happy and delighted that I finally have a grip on my life. Everything is unfolding beautifully. God is on my side. I'm on my side. I know how to lift myself up, and that gives me such peace of mind to know that I can control my thoughts. I can think happy thoughts. I can think positive thoughts. I know what to do to pull myself out of the blues. I'm so happy and delighted that God has given me this power to affirm what I want in life. It feels good to have the entire universe working for you. I'm happy. I am joyful. I'm full of energy and vitality. And life is good to me. Thank you, God, for my life. Thank you for who I am. Thank you for who you are grooming me to be. And so it is. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Good night.